So I want to talk today about unemotional decision making and running your business by the numbers because I've noticed that, like caffeine and media and stimulus and constant movement and being in such a busy world, it's so easy for our brains to begin to adapt to that way of living, which then causes our brains to make really crappy decisions a lot and make very emotional decisions and allow emotions in and allow emotions to basically become the way we make decisions. So like maybe you'll make a big commitment when things are going well, your business is growing and it's like, all right, I'm gonna go buy a new house and like things are good, so I'm gonna treat it like it's going really good. And then when things are bad, you hide away and you don't, and you get in your own head and you get in your own way. And so instead of, being high when business is high and being low when business is low, learning how to just have a steady state of mind. And I'm just going to give you just some philosophical advice as well as some very practical advice and some tips and really just some very clear strategies. I've got just I think 3 or 4 strategies that I have in my mind on, keeping a very clear head. So let's get into it. So first of all, I just hope that you guys understand the correlation between your thinking and the results that you get in your life. So really your thinking is obviously it's the source of all of your actions. All of your actions come from, at some point, a thought that happened in your head at one point, either in the past or very recently, that inspired an action. And so really the first step in order to become somebody that can control the results that they get in their life is becoming the sort of person that can control your thoughts and can control your head. Because if you just let whatever in, then you're going to let whatever out. Bad outputs derive from bad inputs. And so you must control what comes into your head. My philosophical advice is essentially, as above, so below. Whatever you think about will become what's in your outer reality, and whatever's in your outer reality will reinforce the beliefs that you already have. And so it's kind of this cycle. If you really want to break the pattern, you have to go through, a long period of breaking the pattern. And so here's some tips on how you can break the pattern, break the current negative cycle, and actually break the limiting beliefs or the thought patterns or the emotional thought patterns that are preventing you from getting the sorts of results that you want, whether it is that you find yourself having massive mood swings all the time, or you're constantly anxious, or you are constantly excited for no reason. That happens too. Or you are, you're apathetic, or you're whatever, just getting to a state where you control your actions no matter how you feel you're going to do what you need to do. So here's tip number 1, and that is meditation. Highly recommend that everybody do a daily or bi-daily meditation at least 2 or 3 times a week if you possibly can. I like the app Headspace. I use it on my phone, and it gives me just 10 minutes where I can breathe and reset. And a lot of people don't understand the psychological benefits of meditation, but really the whole idea is that you're retraining your brain. And slowly and surely chipping away at the neurotic tendencies that your brain might have right now. Like if you find yourself on YouTube a lot, or browsing around watching videos like this, or you find yourself pinging from task to task to task all day and you can't really focus, or you find that when you're dealing with other people you can't seem to focus on what they're saying, and that it just kind of you can't really, and I'm speaking all of this from experience, by the way, then odds are you've developed kind of a bit of a monkey brain. You've developed neurotic monkey brain. And neurotic monkey brain loves going from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing, and it doesn't go deep in any direction. Monkey brain just loves trying new things, and if it doesn't work, going to the next thing. Trying a thing, if it doesn't work, going to the next thing. It's just a constant loop of never really committing to anything, never going all the way through with something, because you're not getting the stimulus that thing needs. So even though, say for example, a business idea, let's say you pick a new niche, you build a new offer. Let's say you're a coach, we help you become coaches, right? That's obvious. You should know that from my channel. Let's say you pick a new offer, a new niche, and you go in that direction, and you don't get results for 30 days. Oh, boo-hoo. And then the other person that sticks to it for 2 years of the exact same niche, exact same offer, because they stuck with it for 2 years, they've now made $2 or $3 million in that industry. And I'm that example to other people. It's funny, there's other people that tried to do what I do, didn't get to work, and then moved on. And there's people that did what I do, and myself included, that have gone on to do very, very well doing it. And so it's just focus and attention and committing to one thing. And so what meditation does is it rewires your brain to be present and to be aware of its surroundings. Because what happens is, if you're not aware of your surroundings, you're not aware of the moving pieces in your outer reality, you're not aware of your state, how you're feeling, what's going on in your head, your mood, your emotions, then those things actually can control you. They can pilot you. Unless you are aware of their presence, they will pilot you, they will control you. And so being aware of how you're feeling and aware of your surroundings and aware of your emotions enables you to consciously out of your own free will, make a decision. And we make thousands of little decisions every day, but right? You can make a decision in those little moments. Like right now, honestly, as I'm making this video, I'm like overwhelmed. I've got a lot of moving pieces in my business and my life right now, and I've got a lot of things like going on, but I'm still making this valuable piece of content and making a video because I want to put good things out into the market and help you grow your business, help you make a lot more money. That's, I'm focused. I can be present because I work on my head, I work on my state, and I give myself the ability to ignore the noise. So that's my first piece of advice is meditate. Honestly, it has been one of the best things I've ever done for my career. Back when I was just getting started, it was a habit that I had very actively. And to be honest, about 2 years into my journey, I pretty much left the habit behind. I didn't do it anymore. And this year I've picked it back up again, and I'm starting to see the results massively. So dedicate at least 30 days to doing it and see where it gets you. I promise you're going to thank yourself at the end of the 30 days. If you can't commit 30 days, then honestly, you don't deserve the sort of success that you find yourself being envious of other people having, because you can't commit at least just 30 days to doing something that you know is going to benefit you and your mental health. So the next piece of advice is another kind of physiological piece of advice, and it is no caffeine. No caffeine. If you are currently having like a cup of coffee a day or an energy drink or anything like that, getting off of that, weaning off of it, at least moving back from it being every day to, like, for myself, I will sometimes do caffeine when I go to work out, right? I'll take like a Bang energy drink. That's what I like to do. So I'll do it when I work out because it helps me get a good workout in, helps me build up a lot of sweat, helps me build more muscle. But even that, I still feel guilty doing that. And to be honest, I've definitely formed a bit of an addiction going to the gym and having caffeine while I'm there. Like there for like 3 months, I was doing one like every day or every other day, and it just wasn't good. It's not good at all. And the reason why, some people, it's crazy how unaware people are of the extreme negative effects of caffeine and media and whatever else, which is why I encourage meditation. But it reinforces that monkey brain. It reinforces that neurotic pinging from thing to thing to thing monkey brain. What caffeine is that it's an extreme stimulant, and it stimulates your brain. Your dopamine receptors, they just start shooting out dopamine into your bloodstream. You start feeling your serotonin levels skyrocket up, and to be honest, it's kind of like a fake high. It's for the same reason that typically people who are addicted to meth are losers and they don't have anything going for them. It's the same reason why people who are addicted to caffeine tend to, over the long haul, not necessarily in the short term, caffeine will give you a massive advantage the day of, but over the long haul, you will have a significant disadvantage because that neurotic, high will open the gates for your hormones to, kind of wreak havoc on your being. Because you've opened up the gates, you've opened up, caffeine literally expands the blood vessels in your brain and encourages more hormone production. You can do your own research, but essentially it wreaks havoc on your hormonal state, and it wreaks havoc on your ability to focus because now you need caffeine in order to even get up in the morning. So if you're at that state where like literally the first thing that happens when you get up in the morning is you need caffeine, stop immediately, go 30 days, no caffeine. None, absolutely no caffeine. Don't do decaf stuff either. Don't like wean off by like, oh, I'm just gonna do decaf. Like, go through the hard 2 or 3 week push and feel the desire for you to go get coffee. Like, when I was weaning off, I felt this intent, and I'm about like 3 weeks into being off of it again, and I'll come on and off, and I really just want to commit to being off this time because I'm just feel so much more focused. But when you wean off and you experience that desire to just get back into that habit, those moments where you have that intense desire, that is when you're building the resistance that you need in order to quit permanently. Okay. And so I made another video about like why quitting porn helped me grow my business. You check out that video as well, because it's the same thing. These fake stimulants, these fake sort of environmental, what would you call it? These fake sociological like stimulants, these things that make you feel good when you don't deserve it. They can effectively destroy your ability to be productive, because now guess what? Running your business is hard. Getting on sales calls is hard. Doing these things, it's tough. It is hard work every single day. And if your brain is constantly looking for a high, it's not going to want to do these things. It's not going to want to grow your business, because growing your business is hard, and working on yourself is hard. Working on your relationships is hard. Doing the hard work to become the person that you want to be is hard. And if you're constantly stimulating yourself with media or with caffeine or even a lot of sugar or whatever it is, weed or any sort of a drug or anything like that, you are going to become a monkey brain neurotic sociopath, and you won't be able to focus for more than like 30 seconds at a time on anything, and it's going to prevent you from growing your business forever. And this is something that, honestly, I'm speaking from such a level of extreme experience, because I was at one point addicted to pornography, which I believe rewired a lot of the, the wiring in my brain to be more prone to addiction and be more prone to highs and lows and needing the emotional stimulus of a good day or a bad day, needing to feel good or feel bad. I've learned, I've had to teach myself how to feel neutral. I've had to learn how to feel neutral. It is such a skill to learn how to feel neutral if you're a business owner. Learning how to just be like, yeah, this isn't good, it's not bad, it just is what it is. There's no need for me to react, it just, this is what it is. And being able to get into that state is such a powerful thing. And caffeine is going to hurt your ability. It's going to severely damage your ability and significantly decrease the likelihood that you will be able to reach that neutral state where nothing, there's no real like good or bad. It just is what it is. And you're able to focus and be completely present because really you're after a longer term reward. You're not after a short term reward, the sorts of rewards that caffeine gives you. You're after a long term reward. A decade out. You're looking at decade out, which is where I'm at right now in my business and in my life. So my last tip is plan tomorrow today. And this is basically, this is something that I learned early on in my entrepreneurial journey that has served me till today. And it's essentially that you don't want to just wake up and then decide what to do when you wake up. That's the silliest way to run your day because all of a sudden you're making just the amount of energy you have to put into figuring out what you're going to do that day prevents you from even doing what you're going to do that day well, because you're having to constantly figure out what am I going to do next, what am I going to do next, what am I going to do next. And that energy of looking for the next task to do and figuring out if the task is actually valuable for the bigger picture of your business and your career you extend so much energy in doing that even doing the tasks you don't do it well. And so I'm sure you've experienced this where you have an entire day where it feels like you got nothing done. You just kind of ping from thing to thing to thing. And if that's happening, that's because you're not self-managing very well. You're probably addicted to caffeine or media or YouTube or something, and that's preventing you from focusing, and then you're not planning your days ahead. So literally at the end of my work days, it is ritual for me. I will plan the next day. So I will say, tomorrow I'm going to do this and this and this. So it's typically at least 3 things that I'm going to focus on that day. If not, it's a proper list of like, this hour I'm going to do this hour I'm going to do this. So there's kind of 2 types. Either 3, major things I'm just going to focus on throughout the day, or it's a literal like hour by hour of like, I'm going to do this all day. And when I do that and I just stick to, the routine that I have set up for myself, it's actually so rewarding. It is extremely rewarding to stick to the routine that I've set up for myself and stick to, the task that I've set up for myself. The reward that I get from doing that at the end of the day feels better than any high that anything else can give me. And so just getting addicted, if you're going to get addicted to anything, get addicted to the process of doing what your business needs you to do and being the person that you need to be for other people and rewarding yourself in return for doing that. And so hopefully this is helpful. This is just 3 major tips. Like, it's crazy how people never talk about caffeine and how how damaging it is to your neurology and your hormones and all kinds of other things in your life. And it's crazy how often people spend hours a day on their phones. It's crazy how hard it is to wean off of these things. And so I encourage you to go through a season of cutting out as many of these things as possible and just see what happens. Honestly, it's crazy. You will literally not change until you decide to change. You will not change until you decide to change. So if you're not satisfied with your results right now, if you don't feel like you're getting the sorts of results that you deserve in your business or your life, odds are you're not doing the work that is required to get you to where you want to get. If you're honest with yourself, so stop kidding yourself and get rid of the things that are distracting you and actually do the work that is needed in order for you to get to where you want to get. If you're serious about getting to where you want to get and you're not doing the work to get there, then odds are you're not going to get there and nothing's going to change. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.